Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we're doing another Her Name Is episode. If you're new to the channel, this is a series that we do that is dedicated to gender-based violence victims in South Africa. We look at their story and we let you know how and when she passed away. Unfortunately, the story we're dealing with has not been resolved yet. Today we dedicate this video to THEMBISILE Yende. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know who you would like us to feature in the next story. As usual, we choose to start our stories from the beginning. THEMBISILE Yende was born on the 30th of December in 1987. She was born in KwaThema Springs in the east of Johannesburg. She is the last born of 4 kids. She has 2 older brothers, Jabulani and Bombeni Yende, and a sister, Mapole. They lived with their mother, Nepster Yende. Though they did not have much, but they had one another. They were a close-knit family that loved so much. Yende would matriculate in 2006 and move to varsity the following year to study engineering. Before she completed, she would fall pregnant in 2010 and give birth to a beautiful son that she loved so much that she would dedicate her whole entire life to. Now, in 2015, at the age of 27, she would find a job at Eskom. So this was great because now she would be working as a trainee technician. She was on the up and up. For those of you who are not from South Africa, Eskom is a state-owned enterprise. They are an electricity utility in South Africa, so they basically supply electricity to the whole entire South Africa. Now, she was at the substation, which was Pietersburg substation, and basically it is different, totally different from Megawatt Park, which is in Sunning Hill, Johannesburg, where it's an office park and there are hundreds and hundreds of people working. Where she was working, it was an isolated area, kilometers out of Johannesburg, where 1 or 2 people would work at a time. So while working there, she would meet 44-year-old David Ngwenya, who was already working there, and they would start dating. Now, no one knows for sure if she actually knew that this guy was married with 3 kids. They would then start this relationship, but it later on got sour. So Thembi would start telling her family and friends that this guy is stealing copper from the company. It is alleged that Yende was in the process of exposing David for his illegal copper dealings to their superiors. Now fast forward to the 17th of May 2017. This is exactly 2 years after Thembi had started working at Eskom. Now Thembi's routine was she would wake up around 5 a.m. every day and leave for work at 6. She'd come back from work around the same time and start her evening routine with her son. So when Thembi did not come back from work, it immediately raised a red flag. They started calling her friends and just to check where she is. When it immediately got clear that nobody knew where Thembi is, the family would then start with a social media post with hashtag THEMBIYENDE and as well as putting out posters. The hashtag immediately started picking up because it was exactly the same month where Karabo Mukwena's burnt body was found in Sandton, Johannesburg. The police were notified, and the first thing that they did was to go check where she was last presumably seen, and this would be at work. When they got there, they went with K9 units, so dogs were there to sniff around to check for Thembi, and they came out with nothing. A week and a half after she got lost, the family decided to take matters into their own hands because they felt like Eskom and the police were not really doing much. They started a search of their own and they went to the premises of Eskom to try and look for Thembi. Unfortunately, because they could not search inside of the premises, they also came out with nothing. The following Monday, after the family started searching, Thembi Yende's body was actually found inside of Eskom. This is a brother explaining the situation.
South Africa, as you can see, we are back at Pietersburg substation where Thembi was actually found yesterday dead. It took 13 days for Eskom to find my sister, who was actually inside the premises. The very same premises that was searched by the Nigel police with the K9 dogs. They searched it the day after she was reported missing. Now, why was she not found on that day when they searched? And now all of a sudden, 13 days later, after we decide on a family initiative search, she now has been found inside that very same substation. And normally, during the day, there's no security in this substation. There's not even one security. My sister works alone inside that substation. But today, I can count that we have plus minus 20 security guards. Eskom, what are you hiding? What are you not telling us? The only thing we want is answers.
The state of which Thembisile Yende's body was found was terrible. She was found under her desk, she was in a bag, and she was badly decomposed. The door of her office was locked and the key was nowhere to be found. So Mboneni took up the role of a family spokesperson. This is becoming necessary because one, this was a public case, and two, they would occasionally want to have marches to Eskom because Eskom would not give them answers. So they would have pickets and marches outside of Eskom. Boneni would also occasionally post on Facebook updates as to what was happening to the case, just to keep the public involved, and the public really appreciated this.
South Africa, we are at the Springs mortuary right now, where Thembi's body has been kept. Only today, the family gets to identify ingane yabo. Yesterday, as a family, we were not given an opportunity to identify utatwethu, which makes me now ask another question. Why did they remove her without the family members being there? These are all the questions that I'm leaving to you.
Her body would be sent out for post-mortem and her funeral would then proceed. She had a very beautiful, beautiful funeral service that was aired on national television because this was a big case. We sadly watched as the Yende family sadly mourned their daughter without any answers in sight. It was painful, it was sad, it was terrible, and Eskom was still not giving answers. The post-mortem results came back. It was found that Thembi was injected with some sort of poison, strangled, and she was hit on the head with a blunt object. It was now clear that this is a murder case and the police started with their investigation.
At 6 a.m. in the morning, that's when she starts her shift. 6 o'clock in the morning, a female employee is coming to open this lock manually. And there is only one camera for the surveillance of this place. So it makes me ask questions. On the day in question, apparently it is claimed that the cameras have not been working for 2 weeks. If a camera is not working for 2 weeks, what is Eskom doing about it? On that day when she disappeared, her car was found inside the gate, inside the yards. As I said, I don't think an outsider who doesn't know what is happening would actually drive inside here. The family suggests that this is an inside job. Now I'm leaving this to you. Please do decide. Who is actually responsible for this? Are you telling me that the guys that are busy making rounds, so we hear that there is a quantum that is stealing people, will they come and take her, then have a decency to drive in this yard, not knowing what is happening, how many security guards are here, park the car, and then come out again and then leave? Something's fishy. I'm going to leave this to you.
June 2017, David Ngwenya, her boyfriend and colleague, was arrested for the murder of Thembisile Yende, and she was put in jail pending investigations. The family was not entirely satisfied by this because they felt like other people were involved as well. This was a start. Now, instead of things going smoothly from this point on, things actually took a turn for the worst. Ngwenya was released by the Springs Magistrates Court on 15,000 rands bail. And the family only found this out through the media. So they were furious and they were not impressed. Exactly a year after Thembisile's passing, the case has still not begun. So Boneni, as usual, decided, let's do a press conference to make sure that this information is out in the media and people know that this case has still not begun. So they did just that.
And a year later, we still find ourselves in the very same position that we were last year. As much as we believe that the matter of Thembisile Yende is a syndicate, however, we're still sitting with one suspect, Mr. David Ngwenya, who is accused of murdering Thembisile Yende and who is still out on bail. With the case coming up on the 28th of June 2018, as a family, we are not sure what to expect in court. Whether David Ngwenya might walk out a free man, or maybe not.
And unfortunately, the 28th of June came and their worst fears were realized. The state withdrew the case against David Ngwenya. The family was heartbroken. They were devastated. And apparently this was because there was not enough evidence. The only witness that they had passed away. No CCTV footage was found, and there was no DNA evidence. So this was a big blow to the family. It was tragic.
I'm really disappointed from last year. So waiting here, I feel like justice is failing me. He's the one who took my daughter's soul.
And to make matters even worse for the family unfortunately lost their son, Bombeni Yende, who had been the spokesperson for the whole case for the whole 2 years while it ran. He lost his life after surgery in 2019 in January. The case remains open with no suspect. It remains an unsolved riddle for the Yende family, and they still seek justice. So if you know anything or know someone who knows anything, please make sure that you tell them or you go to the Nigel police station in Springs, Johannesburg. And on that note, we have come to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.